Bruno Fernandes signing a new contract at Manchester United until 2027. And it's a kind of reminder that really significant moments in a transfer window can be not just new players coming in, but players being persuaded to stay a bit longer.
And Manchester United will feel this could potentially be one of the best bits of business they do in this window, keeping hold of Bruno Fernandes for the best years of his career. He turns 30 next month. His contract was due to expire in 2 years' time. So this brings to an end any speculation around his future, because there have been doubts about his future because of the comments he made in May before the FA Cup final. He said he wants the expectations of the club to fit within his own expectations. He also said, if the club wants me to stay, I'll stay. If they don't, then I'll leave. Well, he appears to be convinced by this new project at Manchester United, guided by INEOS, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe at the top of it, Dan Ashworth coming in, Omar Barada coming in as CEO. And also, he's been convinced he's a huge part of it as well. I think it's important to state there's never been a single moment where Manchester United thought that Bruno Fernandes didn't want to stay there or ever questioned his integrity or his commitment or desire to stay at Manchester United. That's always been clear. One thing he's done now is committed the best years, the last significant years of his career, to Manchester United with this contract extension.
OK. It makes 4 transfers in all if you include Matthias de Ligt and Nusa Mazraoui for United this summer, £60 million for them. From Bayern, are they still looking to do more business this window?
I think so, yes. I think recruiting a midfielder remains a priority. We've been speaking about it throughout this transfer window, that was one of the areas that Manchester United wanted to strengthen in. And with a little over 2 weeks to go, they are still looking in that area. But it will depend on budgets. That's what I'm told. So likely there would have to be sales to facilitate more incomings. That doesn't necessarily mean that there would have to be a sale in central midfield. It would help because it would create squad space in that particular area, but I'm told it doesn't necessarily have to mean that. It could come in another area where they're already well stocked. We already know that Matthias de Ligt that you mentioned there, that could mean a central defender leaves Manchester United to bring in some money. They've got a plethora of forward players at Manchester United at the moment. If one of those was to leave and bring in money, they could reinforce in central midfield, because we know we've been talking a lot about Casemiro and Scott McTominay and their futures at United. PSG's Manuel Ugarte is a name we've been talking about for weeks and weeks. He remains a primary target. A big gap in valuation still exists, but significantly the player wants to come. Personal terms aren't expected to be a problem. And I think United are probably aware that PSG might be under a little bit of pressure to maybe do business with Ugarte, because his game time was a little bit limited in his first season. It didn't work out as well as he would have wanted and as well as PSG would have wanted when he made that big money move from Sporting Lisbon last summer. They do want to make a profit on what they paid Sporting Lisbon, which was around £50 million. United don't want to go that high at the moment. And since then, in this transfer window, they've brought in João Neves from Benfica. Young, up-and-coming, huge potential player, and he's going to start. And he will start ahead of Manuel Ugarte. So that's another issue that PSG are going to have to address. But the current price looks pretty prohibitive for Manchester United. So they are looking, in keeping with how they're doing their business in this transfer window, at plenty of other targets. Sofian Amrabat, that one hasn't been ruled out, him coming back. You've got the likes of talks ongoing with Burnley over Sander Berge as well. There was talk of Youssouf Fofana from Monaco, but Milan are still pushing to get that deal done. And I did mention maybe creating squad space. There's a lot of talk now about Christian Eriksen's future as well. We understand that there are a lot of clubs who are interested in the Danish international, just exploring the conditions of a potential deal. No formal offers as yet, but Manchester United are expecting some.
OK. I mentioned 4 significant incomings before the window gets to its final fortnight before the season starts. Is this a change because there is new leadership at the top of the football department? Is this United learning from what went wrong in previous summer windows? Bit of both? A
bit of both. I think Erik Ten Hag will be absolutely delighted, because let's bear in mind his first 2 pre-seasons at Manchester United. The first summer, Anthony and Casemiro joined so late into the season, in that after those 2 damaging defeats they had to Brentford and Brighton. Last season, they signed Amrabat and Reguilon on loan the final day of the transfer window. They brought in Højlund just days before the season started, but he wasn't fit and couldn't start of the season. This is the first summer that INEOS have had, the first summer of this new sporting structure, and they're It feels pretty straightforward what they've been doing, but it's been so different from the business at United and the way United have gone about their business in recent years, because they've had multiple different targets in each area of the pitch, and that explains why they were able to buy 2 centre-backs in this window, because they were turned down twice by Everton for Jared Branthwaite. But at the same time, they still had dialogue open around the signing of Lenny Yoro and Matthias de Ligt, who they've both signed now. They wanted to strengthen at fullback, but they knew they needed to free up some budget and squad space to be able to recruit in that area. So they had this deal so far down the line with Mazraoui that as soon as they knew that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they had full agreement with West Ham around the signing of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they knew they were getting 50 million for him. They had Mazraoui in for a medical the next day. That's how quickly they've been able to act, and that's what they'll do in this window as well. They'll have multiple options they're looking at, and it's just whether or not they act on it. The only disappointment for Ten Hag is he'll start this season without Lenny Yoro, without Rasmus Højlund, and without Luke Shaw, who's going to miss out until the first international break on Friday.
But we're going to start the transfer show this hour with significant breaking news. It comes from Manchester United, and for us, it comes from Dharmesh.
Yeah, really good news if you're a Manchester United fan. It was news that we were predicting would happen last week, and it has happened, and that is their captain, Bruno Fernandes, has signed a new contract with Manchester United that will extend his stay at Old Trafford until 2027, and that new contract comes with the option of a further year. You remember he actually joined from Sporting Lisbon around 4.5 years ago. It's in the January transfer window of 2020. And what a career he's had so far at United. 234 appearances, 79 goals and 67 assists as well. He's won the Player of the Year award at United 3 times already, and he's created more chances than any other Premier League player since he joined Manchester United 4.5 years ago. So brilliant news for United and for Bruno Fernandes. He signed a new contract that will extend his stay at least until 2027.
James Savundra is with us as well. You've got some reaction?
Yeah, we've got some quotes from Bruno Fernandes following the signature of that contract. Everybody knows the passion I have for Manchester United. I understand the responsibility and significance of wearing this shirt and the levels of dedication and desire required to represent this incredible club. I've had so many special moments here already, hearing my name sung from the Stretford end, scoring a hat-trick against Leeds, leading the team out at Old Trafford on European nights and lifting trophies at Wembley. But I wouldn't have signed this contract if I didn't believe that my best moments in a United shirt are still to come. From my discussions with the football leadership and manager, it is clear how determined everyone is to fight for major trophies in the years ahead. I can see how positive the future is going to be. I'm relishing leading this team forward.
Bruno Fernandes signs new contract with Manchester United, predicts an exciting future. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes has committed his future to the club, signing a new 3-year contract with an option for an additional year after positive discussions with the new football leadership team this summer. Fernandes had considered his options at the end of last season, with Bayern Munich showing interest during the summer transfer window. However, the Portuguese attacking midfielder, who has scored 79 goals and provided 67 assists in 234 appearances for the club, has now reaffirmed his commitment to United. He has been assured that his best days at the club lie ahead as he sets his sights on challenging for titles and returning to the Champions League. Everyone knows the passion I have for Manchester United. I understand the responsibility and significance of wearing this shirt, and the levels of dedication and desire required to represent this incredible club, Fernandes said. I've already experienced so many special moments here, hearing my name chanted at the Stretford end, scoring a hat-trick against Leeds, leading the team at Old Trafford on European nights, and lifting trophies at Wembley. But I wouldn't have signed this contract if I didn't believe that my best moments in a United shirt are still to come. From my discussions with the football leadership and the manager, it's clear how determined everyone is to compete for major trophies in the coming years. I can see how bright the future is, and I'm thrilled to be leading this team forward. Fernandes has won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year award 3 times at Old Trafford, and sporting director Dan Ashworth praised his remarkable consistency. Bruno has performed at such a high level with exceptional consistency since joining Manchester United. He is a brilliant leader, driving daily standards and inspiring players and staff to perform at their best every day, Ashworth said. Bruno's dedication to the club epitomizes what it takes to be a United player. He remains central to everything we want to achieve here, and we look forward to working together to deliver the success this club demands.